So we're just a few days into NFL free agency. The Ravens have made some splashes with guys like Derrick Henry, but talented players continue to be released. Some wide receivers that the Baltimore Ravens can target. We'll talk about whether or not they should pull the trigger there and address some rumors. We also got the Ravens continuing to make moves to clear salary cap space. Plus, the Ravens have added some of their own under-the-radar free agents and much more Baltimore Ravens news. So welcome in to another episode of Ravens Reports. It's your guy Noah here with For the Flock, as always, bringing you guys our top 5 news reports and storylines coming out of our Baltimore Ravens today. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Can't wait to talk some Ravens football with you guys. So let's dive right in. At number 1, the Baltimore Ravens are being linked to several wide receivers out there on the market. One of the guys that was just released by the Cowboys was wide receiver Michael Gallup, who had a 1,000-yard season a couple of years ago. Tyler Boyd, a very talented wide receiver, I would not mind the Ravens bringing in. Josh Reynolds is still out there as well. He's had a couple of 500 to 600-yard seasons with the Rams and the Lions. He's 29 years old, and probably the guy that would get me most excited on this list right now is KJ Osborne, who has had 1,800 yards over his first 3 seasons as a 5th-round pick. He's only 26 years old, and 1,800 yards and 15 touchdowns in 3 seasons as a 5th-round pick is pretty impressive. He's an underrated playmaker, and here's where it gets juicy, right? Stephon Diggs is apparently throwing out some social media antics, cryptic type messages. Same thing is going on with T. Higgins right now, who we know was on the trade block for the Bengals. But a lot of Ravens fans, I'm getting messages all over the place, a ton of stuff on Twitter saying go get Stephon Diggs, who I think is going to have a 17 to $22 million salary cap hit. I'll tell you right now, Stephon Diggs, I know he's a Maryland product. I don't really want to see him here in Baltimore. I've seen him blow up on the sidelines a few too many times for my likings, throwing temper tantrums, slamming his helmet, showing some immaturity, and he's also looked like he's lost a little bit of juice in the last season or two. So, Stephon Diggs, I think he would want his targets. I think he's a very me type of guy, and I don't know if he'd fit here in Baltimore with the type of team, the type of culture that we have woven into our DNA. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts about it in the comment section below. Maybe I'm mistaken on his selfishness. Maybe there's another guy on this list we just talked about you'd love the Ravens to target, whether it's Michael Gallup, Tyler Boyd, Josh Reynolds, KJ Osborne, or trading for a guy who there's been rumors about. I know there's a lot of debate about how true the rumors are, but the rumors are that the Ravens have gauged the wide receiver market, reached out for guys, the availability of guys like Deebo Samuel and other wide receivers. And I'm sure you would be a bad general manager if you weren't, reaching out to teams to see availability of top wide receivers if you feel like you want to address that position, losing a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. So I'm sure there is some merit to some of these reports, but let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. I love hearing y'all's thoughts. At number 2, the Baltimore Ravens clearing salary cap space. They have about $18 million, according to Brian McFarland, at Ravens salary cap on Twitter. He says that he currently has the Ravens at just over $18 million in cap space, but that's before adding Henry, Malik Harrison, and quarterback Josh Johnson, which we'll get here to in a minute. He said estimating those, it's down to about $11.3 million. So the Ravens, even after, extending Justin Madubuike, signing Derrick Henry, have significantly more salary cap space than they were working with before due to some of these really good moves that they've made. And the big move here is the details came out about how Ronnie Stanley's contract was restructured, and essentially he took a huge pay cut on his base salary, and it's saving the Ravens about $9.6 million in cap space. And Ronnie Stanley has the opportunity to earn all of that back in incentives through playing time. But those incentives that he could hit would count towards the 2025 salary cap. Plus, Ronnie Stanley will be a free agent the way this contract was restructured after this season. So it takes a year off of his contract. He'll be a free agent after this year. Plus, they'll save $9.6 million on this year's salary cap. So great move by the Baltimore Ravens, getting creative with this contract in order to do what's best for the franchise and also give Ronnie Stanley a chance to hit the market again after having a highly incentive-laden deal in order to go out there, perform at his best, show he still got it. So it's kind of a win-win for both sides, in my opinion. At number 3, the Baltimore Ravens have re-signed Darius Washington. Remember, the undrafted free agent out of TCU, I think it was. He was one of my favorite safeties, even as an undrafted guy that year. When I was evaluating safeties, Darius Washington was one of those guys I wanted on my football team. And fortunately for the Ravens, they got him as an undrafted free agent, and he's been a really talented player when healthy. That's the big key there. He had some questions about his size and durability. That's obviously come up at the NFL level, but don't forget, Darius Washington just this season won the starting nickel. Week 1 against the Houston Texans, he was the starting nickel cornerback against the Houston Texans. What I like about Darius Washington is he can cover guys. He has great cover skills, especially those shiftier guys in the slot, but he can also play safety. So you have, really nice versatility there for what you can do with Darius Washington. And here's a look at the Baltimore Ravens corners. If the season were to start today, which we know they'll add a guy or two here, but Marlon Humphrey is cornerback 1. Brandon Stephens, I don't want to start any trouble here. Based on Marlon Humphrey and Brandon Stephens' recent performance, I've heard some fans say that Brandon Stephens is actually cornerback 1 right now, but I digress. Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stephens, your 2 outside starting corners. Pepe, who's, that more of that slot type of corner, that nickel guy, but he can cover outside as well. Jalen Armour-Davis, the 4th-round pick out of Alabama a few years ago, and now Darius Washington. So you got 5 bodies in that room right now, and I think they're going to add some more competition in there and make some of these young guys earn a spot on the roster. A roster spot's not going to be given to guys like Pepe and Jalen if they don't go out and take it in training camp this year. And let me know what you guys think about the possibility of drafting a corner in the first round or 2 of the draft to try to address that position. Because remember, Marlon Humphrey, I think, has got 2 years left in the contract. Brandon Stephens will be a free agent after this year. Jalen Armour-Davis, I believe, is going into year 3 or 4. So you definitely want to continue to inject talent through the draft at that position. At number 4, the Baltimore Ravens have signed quarterback Josh Johnson, who's been an excellent backup here in Baltimore. The maturity, the work ethic, and then his play, whenever he's gotten a chance to go out there and play, he can drop back and sling it. He can get the ball out on time, make the reads, make the throws. And so right now, Tyler Huntley's a free agent. So it's Lamar Jackson, quarterback 1, Josh Johnson, quarterback 2. And then you got Malik Cunningham, who the Ravens picked up from waivers this last season. So I think Josh Johnson, Malik Cunningham could battle it out for quarterback 2. And, you never know. The Ravens could add another guy, either an undrafted free agent guy or a late-round draft pick to come in here and compete for backup quarterback, because we know it's really important in this league, man. You just never know when the next guy's going to have to step up. At number 5, Derrick Henry tells critics, whenever he was asked about how long he can sustain his success and about his age, he said, just keep watching. Just real humbly, just keep watching. Derrick Henry, his work ethic, man, and his humility. Go look at his workout videos and tell me he's not working out like a hungry, absolute madman. I heard from one of the ESPN clips today that they love how they added one of these vets that's still really hungry for a Super Bowl. A guy who's been in the league for a while, had a lot of success, but still wants to win a championship. Derrick Henry's bringing that here, man. And, I know there's some questions about him being 30. When we signed Mark Ingram as a free agent, man, he was 30, and he had a 1,000-yard season caught a bunch of passes as well, and was super efficient. Not only a leader, but a great football player with production. And Derrick Henry, I'm just telling you right now, is on a different level than Mark Ingram was coming into Baltimore as a free agent in 2019. Derrick Henry is one of the most prolific, talented running backs of his generation. He holds top 5 records of NFL history. There's not many rushers that have ever hit 2,000 yards rushing. And then you add in the fact that he's done a lot of this on not very good football teams, like not great offensive lines, not great overall offenses with weapons or a super athletic quarterback that can do the read option, the RPOs. You know what I'm saying? Derrick Henry's going to have success. And he's just to keep watching. I can't wait to watch Derrick Henry in purple and black. Every time I see a jersey swap, man, I get excited. So smash the like button. If you enjoyed today's content, don't forget to hit that subscribe and notification bell so we can keep you up to date on all of your Baltimore Ravens news and content. Man, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.
When he wasn't looking, he ran me over.